Let's go, y'all. It is 32. TopCat AI Signal number 32. Can you believe it? Wow. July 7th. Let's go. So welcome to TopCat AI Signal Report, where we turn noise into signal and signal into creation. Of course, you guys know that. In fact, I've been saying that a while, so you should have that memorized by now. But this is the briefing for leaders who need clarity, not what? Clutter. We scan the market and the policy environment and the business landscape so you can focus on execution, capital allocation, and strategic decisions. Let's grow, y'all. Somebody get my music. We'll get this thing started early.
Breaking through the static sky, algorithms racing, everybody chasing. Another trend, another fear, another story. But somewhere the signal is already here. We don't predict tomorrow, we recognize today. Finding clarity before the world decides what you should think.
Noise gets louder,
Signal,
gets clearer,
truth,
doesn't shout.
it simply appears. This is the
TopCat AI
Signal Report, where confusion,
becomes
Go,
clarity,
where headlines,
become understanding.
where innovation.
All right, y'all, we're going to turn this thing off and get this thing started right now. I mean, that's some of my new music, but not really new. I want to make sure that we're keeping the signal clear. Clarity matters. Okay, guys, let's begin. Segment 1, the executive signal. The clear signal today is that AI governance is moving from theory into institutions. Now, we talked about this, and we have to talk about it daily because things don't move as fast as you think. It moves fast, though, right? So that matters because the conversation is no longer only about whether AI should be controlled. It is now about how control gets built, who sets the rules, and how those rules begin to shape business behavior across borders. Now, this is a major shift. For the last, phase of AI growth, the dominant questions were about capability and speed. Then came the questions about adoption and deployment. Now we're entering a phase of governance is becoming real, visible, and organized. That means AI is no longer just a technology story. It's a policy story, a standard story, and increasingly a business strategy story. That's the signal, y'all. Segment 2, why it matters now. This matters now because the center of gravity is changing. When governance becomes institutional, businesses are no longer just responding to hype or internal experimentation. They are reacting to frameworks, coordination efforts, and policy expectations that begin to define what is acceptable and what is not. That changes the operating environment. The headline today is not just that AI needs oversight. The headline is that oversight itself is being built into the global AI conversation. Now, last night I talked to a good friend of mine, Flo, in Maryland. You know, we were rolling in Virginia in technology back in the day, and he was sharing with me how a couple of our partners who are just genius level are actually driving this. So I won't speak any more on it until we get more details, but just know at the highest levels of this game, we are there, meaning little guys like me and Flo, the way we came up in VA. And by the way, Mark Werner was back there too doing venture capitalism as well. And we work for one of his companies called Broad Slate Networks. Let's grow. Look it up. Prove me wrong. Okay, let's get back to it. The headline that oversight is being built into global AI conversation. That means leaders need to pay attention not only to the models, excuse me, and tools, but also to the rules shaping them. In practical terms, y'all, this could affect product, design, compliance, data handling, content transparency, approval workflows, and how AI is introduced into customer-facing operations. The businesses that understand this early have an advantage. The businesses that will be forced to do it will adapt under pressure. Segment 3, the global signal. One of the most important developments today is the growing international coordination around AI governance. That is significant because AI is not a local issue anymore, y'all. It's becoming a cross-border issue. That means countries, institutions, policy bodies are increasingly trying to define shared expectations. For businesses, that matters in a very concrete way. When government starts to align internationally, the pressure rises from consistency in disclosure, safety, transparency, and oversight. That can affect how AI tools are developed, marketed, and deployed. It also signals that the era of move fast and figure it out later is closing. Leaders should assume that the environment is moving toward more structure, not less. And when structure increases, the advantage shifts toward organizations that are already prepared. Now, before we continue, a quick word from today's sponsor. If your leadership team is still spending too much time on repetitive research, scattered updates, or first draft content, the answer is not more chaos. The answer is a sharper signal. TopCat AI Signal Report is designed for leaders who want clarity without the clutter, because in business, timing and focus matter. Segment 4, the national policy signal. The second major signal today is that governments are moving from discussion to implementation. Japan's move to launch an AI-linked reform council is a good example of this broader pattern. It suggests that governments are starting to treat AI not as a side topic, but as something that belongs inside reform and modernization agendas. That is important because it shows AI is becoming a part of governance infrastructure, not just innovation language. For leaders, this changes the game in two ways. For policy attention, it's becoming more concrete. Second, a likelihood increases that businesses will need to align with emerging standards faster than before. That is not a reason to panic. It is a reason to prepare. The companies that build flexible systems will now be better positions than companies that wait for full clarity, because full clarity usually arrives after rules have already started moving. Segment 5, the business impact. So, what does this mean for business leaders? It means AI strategy can no longer be separated from policy awareness. If your company uses AI in customer service, marketing, internal decision support, or workflow automation, you should assume the government's expectations are tightening around transparency, accountability, and control. That does not mean stopping innovation. It means designing innovation with oversight in mind. The businesses that will win is the next phase are the ones that can answer a few simple questions. What AI systems are in use? What do they access? What decisions do they influence? Where is human review required? What standards are we prepared to meet? These are not technical questions alone. These are leadership questions. And the more institutional governance becomes, the more important those questions become too. Segment 6, executive opportunity. There is also an opportunity hiding inside the risk. When rules become clear, high-trust businesses can differentiate more easily. This is especially true for premium brands, y'all. My grandbaby's playing with me. Advisory business and local service providers and any organization where trust is a part of the value proposition. If your competitors are sloppy with governance and you are precise, you can turn reality into a brand advantage. That means opportunity is not just compliance, it is positioning. Okay, businesses that can say, in effect, we use AI carefully, transparently, and with control may gain more trust than businesses that simply say, we use AI everywhere. Yeah, I definitely don't use it everywhere. It's crazy to say that. In a market where customers are increasingly care about judgment and accountability, that really matters, especially locally in our Columbus, Gahanna, New Albany, Black Lake area and cities. Trust is very important because we all know each other. Our kids go to school, they do things together, grandkids, etc. So we see each other shopping and at functions. So trust is very much matters because we are family, like that song. We are family. Okay, don't take how I sung it to be how they sung it because I can't sing. All right, segment 7. What smart leaders are doing. Smart leaders are not waiting for every rule to be finalized. They are moving now to get their house in order. That means mapping where AI is already being used, defining what data it can touch, establishing human review for sensitive workflows, documentation boundaries for customer-facing use, assigning oversight for ownership, preparing teams and policy changes before they become urgent. This is the difference between being creative and being ready. Segment 8, what to avoid. There are 2 mistakes to avoid right now. Do not treat governance like a legal box. If AI is already embedded in operation, governance needs to be a part of it. Second, do not mistake institutional movement for immediate uniformity. Just because governance is becoming more formal does not mean every jurisdiction will move at the same speed or in the same way. Does that make sense, y'all? Hopefully I'm not confusing you. That means businesses need flexible systems, not rigid assumptions. The safer posture is to build for adaptability, transparent use, clear oversight, document workflows, controlled access, and human accountability. That is the foundation that will survive the changing workflow, landscape, and expectations. Founder, operator lens. Founders and operators, this matters because speed still matters, but speed without structure is now a liability. Speed without structure is now a liability. The best businesses will be the ones that can move quickly while staying inside a disciplined framework. That means AI should not just work for the company faster. It should make the company faster and more equipped to handle discipline and be dependable and trustful. Make sense? All right. If AI can help you respond better, coordinate better, make better decisions, it becomes my asset, y'all. Let's go. Strategic implementations at the strategic level. This is the signal the AI market is entering the institutional phase. That phase matters. Institutional phases are when the environment starts to harden into expectations, structures, and rules. That is when the winners separate from laggards because the winners have already built the muscle memory to control, report, and adapt. This is why the current moment is important. Not because everything is finished, because the direction is becoming clearer. AI is moving from innovation to infrastructure. Let's go. Governance is moving from concept to institution. And the business is moving from experimentation to accountability. This is the broader shift. Another quick word from today's sponsor. TopCat's AI Signal Reports for leaders who don't have time to research, so we do it for them. If you want a sharper lens on what matters, stay with us. The signal is already out there. The challenge is knowing what to ignore. Closing. So today's signal is clear. AI governance is becoming institutional, not like crazy folk. No, just joking. Governments are moving from discussion to implementation, and the best businesses are now preparing, not later. That is why the theme remains the same, y'all. Let's say it together. From noise to signal, from signal to creation. I'm TopCat, Coach Clement, and this has been your AI Signal Report. Number what? 32. Stay tuned for tomorrow's version, number 33, like Tony Dorsett. Let's go. That's all the old Cowboys. I didn't like the Cowboys, but, my family did, so I still remember those crazy numbers and names. Isn't that crazy? That is freaking amazing. Yes. Okay, so guys, again, we appreciate you, and we are out of here like last year. Babu out. Let's grow.